Hello, everyone, and welcome to Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. I'm your host, retired NYPD Sergeant Bill Cannon, a 27-year veteran of the NYPD. A story today of Nick Bolaya. And the name, of course, does not sound familiar unless you also match it up to Terry Bolaya. And that doesn't sound familiar unless you match it up to this individual on the screen, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, his real name is Terry Bolaya, and his son, Nick Bolaya, he is the subject of the story today because it's not that Nick was arrested in November to driving under the influence, driving while intoxicated. They use different alphabet letters for it in different jurisdictions, driving under the influence, driving while intoxicated. But 16 years ago, Nick Bolaya, Nick Hogan, if you want to call him Nick Hogan, was involved in an extremely egregious accident where a friend of his by the name of John Graziano was very seriously injured. In fact, to this day is paralyzed. And it involved drag racing and involved some alcohol. It also involved Nick Bolaya being sentenced to some time in jail over that accident that occurred 16 years ago. So, do people learn their lessons and things like this? When something of this nature occurs, shouldn't you learn your lesson, or is it just something that you don't take seriously? It's not to be trifled with. But this is a serious situation. And maybe because Nick Bolaya is Hulk Hogan's son, is perhaps one of the only reasons that this case is getting attention whatsoever. Otherwise, I don't think many people would necessarily care about it. I mean, driving while impaired, driving while intoxicated is sort of a common crime that's common in every place in this world, probably. And you hear the old euphemisms: if you drink, then don't drive. And if you drive, then don't drink. Get a designated driver. And in this day and age, it's easier than ever to get an alternative source of transportation. We have Ubers, we have taxi cabs. Granted, it can be costly. However, get arrested for DWI and see how costly that is. That's a serious situation. Could cost you $10,000, $15,000 when you could have paid the Uber driver 50, 50, right? And so we're going to just look at this case and, the decision making, and perhaps why is Nick Bolaya, Nick Hogan? I don't think Hogan is his, Hulk Hogan was his wrestling name. So guys, hang on to your seats, get ready to enter true crime, real crime, from a police perspective. You're about to enter the off the cuff zone, the police off the cuff zone. There has to be some common sense.
Yes, sir. They have the car stopped at 10th and Ranch, Michael Weiser.
We still don't know who pulled the trigger.
Years ago, when Nick Bolaya got in that accident where he so seriously injured his friend and was drag racing, you would think that perhaps he would learn his lesson. But did he? That's what we're going to look at today. Did he learn his lesson?
Attention now to a story topping headlines out of Clearwater, Florida.
Yeah, that's right. The
Sorry, guys, it's loading. I've had problems with my
son of pro wrestler, Hulk Hogan.
Nick Balaya is on the screen. The
We
son
all
of
know who
Hulk
he is. Well,
Hogan.
his son, Nick Bolaya, is in hot water again after being arrested on.
I'll remove it from the screen. I'm having problems with this with the Wi-Fi. So he's arrested for DWI. Sort of, you know, a difficult situation, but he has a history where he extremely egregiously injured his friend. And I'll pull up the story. Hulk Hogan's son, Nick Balaya, has been arrested again in connection to an alleged alcohol-fueled driving incident. The latest misdemeanor charge out of Clearwater, Florida, alleges that Balaya was driving under the influence and refused a breathalyzer test, according to the complaint. An arrest affidavit obtained by People magazine. In the early morning hours of Saturday, this is on November 18th, 2023, Balaya barreled toward a set of 3 Clearwater Police Department vehicles in his black 2021 Dodge Ram, the affidavit alleges. When the officers who were conducting other business near the median signaled for him to move away from them, he continued forward, clocking 51 miles per hour in a 40 miles per hour zone, per the officer's in-car radar, noted in the report. Although the police allege that Balaya refused a breathalyzer test, which measures the amount of alcohol in the driver's system through his exhalations, officers allegedly noted a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage on Balaya, adding that he was swaying and had unsteady balance. Officers described his eyes as being bloodshot and glassy, adding that he did show signs of impairment and performed poorly on field sobriety tests. The 33-year-old formerly sponsored car racer, who as a teenager competed in amateur and professional track races, was arrested at 1:42 a.m. on Saturday, November 18th. He was subsequently booked into the local jail by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. That office confirms that. In a video of his booking obtained by People magazine, he walks handcuffed into the sheriff's office. He's held on $500 bond. Although he did not have an adult record in Clearwater, he has a checkered driving history, as we previously mentioned. At the age of 17, Balaya was sentenced to 8 months in county jail and 5 years probation in a May 2008 after pleading no contest in a reckless driving incident, causing serious bodily injury to his friend, according to Salmon Ash Injury Law, who represented that friend in a civil suit stemming from that Clearwater crash, which also involved alcohol. In that incident, it took place in August 2007. 17-year-old Nick Balaya took one of his dad's cars, a Supra, and drove his friend, John Graziano, a former U.S. Marine and veteran of the Iraq War, to a steakhouse in downtown Clearwater. En route, the lawyers alleged that Nick Balaya raced the Dodge Viper in a 40-mile-per-hour zone, lost control of the Supra and fishtailed along the road, crashing into a median strip and ultimately a palm tree. The teenage Balaya's blood alcohol level registered 0.055, a level known to impair judgment and decrease alertness, according to the Graziano family lawyers. Graziano, who was not wearing a seatbelt, sustained a severe brain injury caused by a broken skull and a swollen brain. Balaya, who was wearing a seatbelt and was soon after discharged unharmed from the hospital, had his license suspended for 3 years. The teenager, who had racked up a handful of speeding citations, including one just weeks before the crash, including multiple incidents which he clocked at over 100 miles an hour, got out of jail early on good behavior. So this story, it is a story, of course, only because of that family right there that you see on the screen. Hulk Hogan and his wife, they had that reality show. And of course, that's his son, Nick. His daughter was trying to be in show business also. But when we speak about, specifically like a DWI like this, it's still not it's a problem all over the country, all over the world. People get in their cars and they drive drunk. And I'll play a little bit of the video where he was pulled over.
Hey, sir. How much you had to drink tonight? No.
He said he had nothing.
Nothing at all?
I'm sorry, I'm just putting my insurance.
You almost ran me over. It was me that you almost ran over when you were driving right by me. Okay? When there's police lights lighting up the road over there.
I'm so sorry. It's just been a night where we're just on our way home and we're leaving.
You mind stepping out for me?
Yeah.
Nice truck. Expensive truck.
Yeah, sorry, sir.
So where are you coming from tonight? Come on over here.
Beach. Heading home.
Leaving the beach, heading home?
Heading home.
Nothing to drink tonight?
No, sir.
So it's just, you said the passengers?
Yeah. Just passengers.
But I can smell it on your breath.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's them. I was just kissing my girlfriend. Apologize.
That's what you're gonna say? That you're kissing your girlfriend, so that's why you have alcohol coming off your breath.
I'm sorry, sir. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay. Well, would you mind if I check your eyes and make sure you're safe to be driving, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hey, Sarge, can you kill your lights? I want you to just put your feet together for me, heels and toes, touch like my hands at your sides. Do you wear glasses or contacts, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, perfect. Have you hit your head really, really hard in the last 24 hours where you caused you to vomit or something?
Not in the last one.
I love how he gets to think about that.
So, you see that red light on my pen?
Yes, sir.
I want you to just follow with your eyes only, don't move your head. I want you to keep your chin level for me, though.
Yes, sir.
Don't move your head, just your eyes. Just your eyes. You're moving your head, okay? I need you to keep your head still.
You know, some of these DWI
Keep
protocols
your nose facing me and just move your eyes, okay?
are difficult to do sober. Never mind being intoxicated. So as you can see, he's doing all the tests they're requesting him.
How are you?
I got neck problems, sir. I'm sorry. I can't turn my head that far.
Just keep your chin level for me. You're looking up. Keep your chin level.
I'm sorry. You got neck problems. I was just trying to tell you I can't
Yeah, I don't want you to move your head.
Okay,
You keep moving your head.
I understand that, but I can't. If I look too far, that way I have to turn my head because my neck is a little.
Just your eyes. You don't need to move your head.
That's fine.
Okay, keep your chin level for me, though.
Okay, no problem.
There we go. We're gonna just pass again.
I can only look so far, man. Without my neck turning, I can only look so far.
I need you to follow my instructions,
Sure.
okay? Keep your chin level for me. Your chin is still on level. There we go.
Okay.
So he's taking all the DWI protocols, the physical test, the eye test, At some point, he'll be asked to walk a straight line, put your head backwards. So, as I said, some of these are difficult to do even when you haven't had anything to drink.
Well, you're holding it above my head. I'm sorry.
I'm not holding it above your head.
Okay.
Okay, keep your feet together for me, heels and toes touching. There we go. Moving nice and slow.
So he's been given the physical test.
Now, what do body cams like this show you? That it's an unpredictable world, right? And sometimes in that world, you're going to need a lawyer. But finding the right legal help.
To follow with your eyes. I'm going to bring it towards the bridge of your nose. I'm not going to make contact with you. It's going to feel like your eyes want to cross, okay? Just go ahead and let them do what they do naturally, all right? Sure. Here we go.
Do you want me to follow the
follow
light?
the light. Yep, follow the light. One more time.
Well, gamut of physical tests here for to determine if he is driving while intoxicated, and at some point he will be placed under arrest. And the question is here, of course, is 16 years ago,
6 inches off the ground.
I'm sorry, my feet were rubbing against. I just give myself like a half an inch of space. They're together. I can't press them like that.
All right, but you're gonna raise it up across the 6 inches off the ground, which is about the height of a soda can, just like this. Okay.
Sure.
Point that raised foot forward so the foot is parallel with the ground.
Which foot?
Okay, the raised foot.
A lot of
All right.
while
Keeping both your legs.
are not easy to do, as I said, when
Look
you're
down to raise foot
sober.
and count loud.
So imagine
1001,
he's been drinking.
1002, 1003, and so on until I tell you to stop counting. During exercise, I want you to keep your hands at your sides. Don't use them for balance. I want you to sway. I don't want you to hop. And I don't want you to put your foot down. If you do happen to put your foot down, pick it back up. Continue counting where you left off. Don't start over. So, for example, if you drop your foot on 1005, once you regain your balance, pick it back up.
He also, at some point, his dad will show up. Hulk Hogan will show up on the scene. A good parent to help his son out.
Hold on. Earplugs. Lighter. Earplugs. Earplugs. Lighter.
As you can see now, I believe he's in handcuffs. So he has been placed under arrest. And he refused the breathalyzer. So his arrest is based upon
I know this is part of this procedure.
the
We're gonna walk over
DWI
here to my side.
field protocols that they tested him. That he appeared to be, and they smelled alcohol in his breath, and he couldn't move very well. So
Got it for a minute.
for those reasons, he had been placed under arrest. And we're going to see Hulk Hogan on the scene very shortly. Obviously, someone in the car called him and had him respond to the scene. And he was very supportive
Just have
of
a seat
his
side
son.
here for me.
16
head as you
years
step
prior,
in.
when his son was involved in that serious vehicle accident that gravely injured his friend John Graciano. So crazy. Here's Hulk Hogan on the scene, as you could see.
Did he blow?
He asked did he blow? Did he take the breathalyzer test? And no, he did not. So, but that doesn't absolve him of the charges. He still failed the test. The physical test.
Right now, he's asking if he's willing to blow or not.
Cool. Let me call my lawyer real quick. See where we're at. This is crazy. Sorry about this.
It's all right. Basically, if he refuses, he's gonna lose his license.
If you refuse a breathalyzer test, your license is automatically suspended. And if it's a second time,
I think he has refused. I think that's where we are with it.
Florida. So pretty serious charges. And
so if he refuses, he's going to have the opportunity to go to a driver's license hearing, or he can get a hardship driver's license. If this is his first DUI, then there's methods they can use to reduce the charges. And there's different things that they can do. With your attorney, you should be able to figure all that out.
Yeah, he says his first DUI.
He should be.
What was he doing? Was he speeding or what was his deal?
Move over.
Excuse me?
Move over.
What does move over mean?
the Hulk was asking, was he doing
Change
it?
lanes.
Maybe he
By
gets pulled over.
Yeah, boy. So they're taking him over 49th Street?
We're going to take him to the main station. We're going to give him the opportunity to, I think he's refused, so we're going to give him the opportunity to still provide a breath sample regardless. And then if he still refuses, then he'll just get a DUI citation and then he's going to go to the county jail. He's going to spend 8 hours from the time of the arrest.
Where's the main station?
6:45.
So Nick Belaya, the son of Hulk Hogan, arrested for driving while impaired, driving while intoxicated, and the reason this is a story is twofold. The one is that many years ago, Nick Belaya drove 16 years actually drove in a car, drag race with a car, and alcohol was also a factor in that. What turned out to be a horrific accident where his friend John Graziano, there's a picture of the car up on the screen, was paralyzed and is to this day is suffering the injuries from that night.
That crash left the passenger, his friend John Graziano, permanently disabled. Belaya served only a few months in jail. Well, now Nick Belaya is in trouble again. As Annie Mapp explains, he was arrested over the weekend and charged with another DUI.
It's here on Gulf to Bay Boulevard in Clearwater where officers say Hulk Hogan's 33-year-old son, Nicholas Belaya, didn't move over for officers with their emergency lights on. That caused them to pull him over, and they believe alcohol was behind his careless driving. This video shows Nicholas Belaya arriving to the Pinellas County Jail early Saturday morning. Police believe he was driving drunk.
If you're going to drink, then you don't drive.
An affidavit obtained by 8 on Your Side states Belaya didn't follow instructions from an officer with the flashlight, asking him to move over for emergency vehicles. Not only that, police say he was traveling 51 miles per hour in a 40-mile-per-hour speed zone. When pulled over, an officer states Belaya smelled like alcohol, but refused to take a breathalyzer test. He did take a field sobriety test where officers say he performed poorly. Mothers Against Drunk Driving say they aren't surprised to learn of his arrest.
It's very sad. You would hope that somebody learned their lesson, and especially when there was an injury at one point. But we see this, that there are repeat offenders.
John Graziano was Belaya's passenger on August 26, 2007, when Belaya crashed into a tree. Police say Hulk Hogan's son was driving under the influence during that crash. It's a day that changed Graziano's life forever, leaving him permanently disabled. The Belayas reached a $1.5 million settlement with his family.
The entire Belaya family feels a lot of love and cares a lot for John. And they hope and pray that his recovery continues.
Nicholas Belaya spent 8 months in jail for that crash that happened in 2007. Now, for the DUI over the weekend, he made bond and was released from jail. Reporting in Clearwater.
So, again, when we talk about this case, that you would think that a horrific accident like that would change you for life. It would change your habits. That's a picture on the screen of Nick Balea and his father, Hulk Hogan, from many, many years ago. And this is what Nick looks like now. And his dad was on the scene. His dad, Hulk Hogan, aka Terry Balea, basically he was there for his son, and his son seems to have some issues, some problems with driving, and perhaps with responsibility, that he's not taking responsibility for himself. And that's a big problem.
Known as Nick Hogan, the son of wrestling star Hulk Hogan. Phone calls to 911 operators back then painted a picture.
So back in 16 years ago, obviously Nick Balea did not learn his lesson. He's still driving intoxicated, and paying the price. His friend John Graziano, paralyzed for the rest of his life. There's the Hogan family when they were on the screen in the they had the reality show. It's just a horrific situation. And think of his friend John Graziano, who never probably will ever be normal again because of this horrific accident. Here's a little file tape from that.
According to the booking report, Hogan was pulled over on Gulf to
So arrested.
Boulevard. He's been released from jail on a $500 bond, but sadly, this is not the first time that he's had a run-in with the law while behind the wheel. This weekend's arrest comes 16 years after he was arrested for reckless driving following a horrific accident that left his friend paralyzed. And Winnie, that was a big story when it happened.
Yeah, that's right, Paul. We covered this story extensively at the time, and new tonight, our Mary O'Connell is picking things back up. She's taking a closer look at those charges and speaking with the mom of that man who's still.
That's John Graziano, his friend, obviously, who is will probably never recover from that accident, be whole again, and
nearly
2 decades ago, as you could see, John Graziano's been paralyzed from that accident. So that's one of the reasons we cover this case, is just to show the horrific nature and the results of a DWI accident.
Later.
It was a story in the spotlight in the Tampa Bay area 16 years ago. A crash in 2007 involving Nicholas Balea, more commonly known as Nick Hogan, the son of wrestling star Hulk Hogan. Phone calls to 911 operators back then painted a picture of panic.
They was racing. They were racing. I saw them. Yeah, it was 2 cars drag racing. He was drag racing.
At the time, officials in Clearwater said that investigators interviewed several witnesses who stated they saw then 17-year-old Balea and another driver racing before Balea lost control of his car and crashed into a tree. Balea was arrested for reckless driving for the wreck, which seriously injured his passenger, John Graziano. A judge sentenced him to 8 months in jail. ABC Action News was there when Balea walked out of the Pinellas County Jail. That day, his family didn't talk to reporters, but the attorney who prosecuted Balea for his involvement in the 2007 crash did.
Him serving his time is just partial justice. Moving on and actually making greater use of his life, that would be a form of justice, but only if John Graziano was 100% better, I think you'd actually have justice.
Graziano suffered severe brain damage. Monday morning, I heard from Deborah Graziano, John's mother, regarding Belea's recent arrest. She told me in a text, quote, "I think it's a complete lack of respect for what his reckless driving did to my son. It shows me how life goes on as if nothing happened for him. I can only pray that before it's too late, he turns his own life around." Deborah shared with us these photos, one 6 weeks before the crash and one now. She went on to tell me her son still can't speak, walk, or eat, but that he's aware and surrounded by love. We reached out to Belea and his family for comment on his recent arrest and have not heard back.
So, again, just to underline how serious this is, and horrible case, right? Folks, this is Police Off the Cuff, real crime stories, true crime stories. If you like real crime, true crime from a police perspective, then you're in the right place. And if you're not subscribed to us, go on our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell, give us a like, share us with your friends and family members. If you want to contribute to us, we have a Patreon with 3 different levels. And we also have a YouTube channel membership with, count 'em, 5 different levels. And you get real crime and true crime from a police, I'm saying it like it was back in the day, up in New York, up in Harlem, the Popo, we used to call it, right? The police. So that was some of the body cam. Hulk Hogan comes to Son's aid during DUI arrest in Clearwater, Florida, the same area that he had that horrific accident 16 years earlier in Clearwater, Florida. It seems like the dad, Hulk Hogan, or Terry Belea, is there for his son. And let's hope that his son will straighten out his life and not get involved in any of these situations ever again. Well, folks, I just want to bring you a short little show today and show this case. Lulu Love, Bill, how are Bill, laugh out loud. Yes, there is some humor to this show, even in the most serious topics. So, folks, have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in for this little abbreviated show. But I thought it was an important story to get out there. I'm Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. Have a great day, everyone.
One episode just ain't enough.